Hello, it's Dan Harmon. Welcome to the Communitary for one of my favorite episodes of a crazy season. One main reason it's my favorite is because it's my first chance to work with my friend Bobcat Goldthwait. And when I say work with, I mean I hand him a script at the last minute and he does his thing. That's what all directors experience on this show.
I'm in bed, but I only rest half my brain at a time. Go.
Greendale in jeopardy. Need to call emergency meeting ASAP. No
A
time.
lot of what you're watching right now, oh my God, I mean, I should say this about every episode, but it's particularly stands out for something like this. It's so timing dependent. It has to move so fast. There's all this visual stuff happening that has to track, and it has to happen at a pace. The editors of Community are doing more special effects than you'll ever imagine. In a scene where someone's just buying a cookie, like even if there is no split screen, there might be a split screen. They are constantly drawing mats around people, morphing faces, like doing whatever they can to make sure that the joke is correctly timed.
Dean, that number is not in my phone as Jeff's, and it doesn't even look like an American phone number.
I think this gag was something that McKenna and I came up with in the wee hours. We didn't really have I can't quite remember. I hope no writer is like getting mad and saying that was my idea, but I think this is something that McKenna and I had brewing for a while. It was the code name was Bye Bye Birdie. We always wanted to do a cold open that had to do with the way we really communicate these days, which is through text messaging and voice calls on cell phones at the very least, and we wanted to at one point do a cold open that just sort of illustrated the complexities, the overlapping and televisually incompatible ways that we communicate. Television is such an older medium now than so many ways that we emotionally connect to each other. And TV is desperately trying to catch up to illustrating, and it takes the form of just, bad sitcoms that run for 6 episodes that have titles like sexting. Come on, everybody does it. And it's like, oh, your show's going to be about sexting. Great. I don't know if that's a real one, if I offended anybody. I'm sure that's got to be a real one, but in my mind, I'm making that up.
It's 3 a.m. in the frickin' morning, Edison. What gives you the right to haul us in here?
Chang, how did you even find
we talked early on in the season about doing a so-called 12 Angry Men kind of thing, and which fused with a sort of situation room concept.
the bar? Does that mean you're drunk?
At its core, basically a bottle episode. But not in a gimmicky way. I mean, the bottle's not sealed. We leave the bottle, but it's basically a bottle episode.
Jeffrey.
Okay, 41.
That was British shitting her pants. That's one of my go-tos.
KZBC.
The TV station?
No, the unrelated, totally random combination of those 4 letters.
Meow.
Subject, heads up. Annie, still going to Greendale? Thought you should know. City College is running a negative ad about your school at 7 a.m. Heard it's pretty bad.
So the people that wanted more music in the background this season, do you think in this scene there should be, should there be a xylophone? Would that
And no one here ever graduates.
Actually, our numbers are up because of
Would that help?
Frankie's made.
Those improvements were only possible through your hard work, Annie.
Oh, get a boardroom.
Interesting. When were you going to share the whole truth about this and not just the parts that suit you?
What?
P.S. I was glad to hear Brenda's doing better. Huh? Huh?
Just because City College is scared doesn't mean they're not
I probably should have put some music there.
Anything in particular?
I'm not being sarcastic.
Nothing in particular. Just
Well, yeah, I am.
overlapping clouds of many thousands and thousands of things.
Let's not forget the Brenda factor.
There isn't a Brenda factor.
He says she's doing better. Better than what?
Her thyroid condition
I,
And Brenda?
again, I don't want to re-record. I want you to hear those sounds that are happening inside my body. It sounds like a Shih Tzu.
Baby exists beyond your petty factionalism. We serve only video, the one true queen, and her faithful consort, audio.
Could you guys be bigger nerds?
No, most of us have achieved our maximum potential.
Well, Annie's right. We do have a situation here. So, We will make this our situation room.
Yes, we need whiteboards, corkboards, laptops.
A bunch of clocks with different times on them. A red.
It's
phone,
weird
big
when you do an episode like this because the scene you're watching was the first scene that we shot,
That means we
which means it was the
have
first scene that
4 hours
Bobcat
and
ever
30
did
minutes
on
to
a set of
figure out
Community.
what
So he's showing up as a director and he's got this scene.
I think Britta somehow crapped in my pants too. Better head home.
Jeff, you can't just leave a situation room.
It's the scene's an entire act. So okay, now we're gonna rehearse it. We're gonna block it. He's a first time director on Community, and you know,
Greendale spirit, where's the pride?
everything is instantly, in a lot of ways, more complicated than it's ever been for any director because he has to block and shoot this entire thing. So if the actors halfway through rehearsing a scene of this size are feeling like, boy, what's why is this so difficult? Well, the answer is because the scene is 18 pages long. But only a guy like Bobcat with his amazing kind of bulletproof confidence could roll in. He's a very calm, quiet guy that instills a lot of confidence in the people he works with because you don't ever feel him panic or get mad. He's very, very calm and friendly, and I think he really nailed this episode because I did want it to feel different. I wanted it to feel quiet and still. It's 3 a.m. at Greendale, and the conflicts are very, very subtle and nuanced. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? There's a little dolphin in my body. The inside of my body sounds like a dog I had that got hit by a car. It was the worst experience of my entire life. Shaped and scarred me forever. My little Lhasa Apso.
Keep it in 3 words before.
Susu.
Pool our facts. The most
She ran into the street, got hit by a car, and she made that sound.
Greendale Community College
And
give
then died.
a degree to a dog.
I seem to recall. No. No way. There's absolutely no way. Not that dog.
That dog?
You remember the dog.
God, I really distracted myself with that.
Rolled in classes.
I was really just returned to that moment.
Why are these the questions you're asking?
You don't want to know if a dog got a degree here?
It's not important. What I want to know is
The image
did
of
the
my
dog get a
dad
degree here in any way that can be proven.
scooping the dog up off of the...
I don't like that.
Pavement and
I don't
carrying
like
it,
the truth.
like-
Play lawyer on your own time.
I remember this look of frustration on his face,
You wanna
like,
be invested?
ugh,
This dump cuts my.
how could this dog die? Like it was like burdening to
How
him.
many seconds of that should I waste on truth?
Just carrying it, like he was just mad. He was just mad that something emotional was happening. And I was probably like 6 years old, and I think that's where my brain, like, split.
We can have the station pull the ad. But that is precisely why the truth does matter.
The Brenda paradox.
I found the dog. I also found a lot of people's social security numbers. You know, this internet's gone.
Anyways, this episode's about a dog.
This says she's registered as a border terrier.
They said Staffordshire in the commercial.
Isn't that something? I mean, we've known this animal 30 seconds, and she's already unreliable. Who is the real Ruffles?
I'm sorry. Our strategy is to go after the dog?
Our strategy is denial, which includes discrediting the source. Abed, can you make one of those?
This isn't a very good commentary, is it?
So why is he upset? Just
I
demonstrate.
mean, it's a quiet episode. It's shot in one room.
I want to know
There's a bunch of people talking.
about this Ruffles.
Let's talk about our prop master, Rhonda Robinson. Let's talk about the design team headed by Denise Pizzini.
Just a little bit more.
They're the ones that you can tell
She's spayed now.
make it look like a situation room.
Do this. We're no better than
And then
college.
We've never been better than City College.
You go down,
Agree to a dog.
and there's whiteboards and clocks and everything everywhere.
Conversation is privileged.
I could do a Banksy-style sketchel of a dog and spray paint it all over the school.
That sounds great. But first, why don't you go get a bunch of coffee, drink all of it, then go get some more, and bring it back here.
I actually love
Sometimes when you look at the set
My pants.
I know this is crazy.
after you give a directive like that, so there's a couple things that you might ask to be taken down, like that kind of like that don't make sense for them to be up on the wall. But they largely, it's like
If it's the kind we can use,
they just put up all this random stuff that just fills the background and gives you this tone.
Far better than City College. We always have been. Which is why I know that we did not give a degree to a dog.
There should be a tuba blast there.
With fire.
Womp, womp,
City
womp,
College tried
womp,
to
womp.
embarrass us. We should embarrass them, right?
Right.
I say I go to City College with a camera, shoot a really gross porno movie on their campus, and put it online.
Fine. Cool. Wait, what?
That porno movie concept was its own story for a while. I think you're probably glad it didn't
You
happen.
are inspiring, too.
In what way?
I need olives.
These kids, by the way, were great, and
Not again.
in particular, the kid, the one that you actually get to know a little better because he's alone at the end, is a really good actor. Like
To be secret. Please bring me 5
I guess I'm saying that as if it should be a surprise because of the language barrier. Like it's
I'm just pretending I don't eat olives.
he wasn't acting in English, so but like I'm very impressed that the loneliness that he conveyed and
If they gave a dog.
and stuff. Like, and the guy that played his dad
In fact,
was really great too. It really made me want to like I don't know, make a fake foreign movie. Because you can just then you can just focus on feeling, and then your dialogue is just written on the screen on the bottom, and then the actor can act however they want. And you're not like distracted by, oh, he said that word wrong. Someone else can worry about that. Like it would be really cool to make a fake foreign
sorry, I
movie.
just meant that when I was into them, I was like 15.
I was like 40. I never really listened to music when I was growing up. I was in my own world. But one day at work, I heard this sound. It was pillar of garbage.
This music video concept we came up with at the table read. Bobcat and Schraub and myself. I think it was just probably unconsciously. It was like, oh, this episode's going to be too easy to shoot.
Dreaming as the screaming seagulls feed on parts of me I keep below. Oh, 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 take off your boat, let me go where you've been.
Fly overhead, buffalo, falling dead inside.
You know what? You know, those guys are gonna need coffee if they're gonna keep that dog from having a degree. There are things at stake here. I get that now.
No, poor Britta.
I found the smell. Someone filed a taco.
Things that will otherwise
See how she says
fly
taco?
straight to my thighs.
Full little details like that
but
are why I love Paget. Like I don't know, she'll pick a word to say weird.
That's an illusion caused by extreme preparedness.
But what do you hope?
But she's so good at just the raw.
Hope is pouting in advance.
You know,
Hope is
Ersatz,
Faye's richer, bitchier sister. Hope is just
Aaron
a
Sorkin kind of
insect,
stuff.
Monster offspring of entitlement and fear. My life was
And just shovel these words into her, and you know she can just
will be true, Annie. Our job is to deal with that truth.
recite them if that's what you want.
Jeff said I sound like Abed. I wonder if Britta thinks I sound like Chang. I assume Chang thinks I sound like distant explosions and crying babies. You know he's unstable, right?
Yep.
I would definitely like make it a point to
For Ruffles.
You think that's our guy?
work with Paget again. I mean that goes without saying for the rest of the cast. So if I were to have any success and do anything that would lure any of them, you would see these people for the rest of my career and everything that I did.
Screw you, Frankie.
Sorry, Annie.
I
don't think you're seeing this for what it is.
But Paget, like as a newcomer, like that decision was made immediately. Like oh God, I have to work with this person again.
Yeah, but this folder has no degree. Look.
What's that?
Victory. You know, within the context of Greendale.
Would it be better if
No.
we... Never know until you try.
Never know until I try.
What?
I said we're quite a team.
Here's the coffee.
That's just
Let me know
me
if there's anything else I can do to help.
We could use some fresh
being angry.
cut.
We could?
Has anyone told you you're difficult to work with?
Everyone in your line of work.
This is Ruffles. She'd like you to believe she's a college.
Schraub had this guy. I think this was a friend of Schraub's. I don't know. I remember Schraub texting me and saying, "I have a guy that does a really good James Spader impression."
A lobster has had 27 children with 5 different fathers. And
His Spader is definitely being compromised by the pace.
Ruffles claims a lot of things. Maybe that's why Ruffles once spent.
But he does 2 versions of James Spader. He does.
Not a student, not a good dog.
He can do young mannequin James Spader, and then he can do old blacklist James Spader. And they're both very distinct, and and that's not the guy. Just in case you're curious, that's just the guy.
It's okay if I crush on him.
But I thought it was really funny, the idea that guy does the James Spader impression so that he doesn't leave. I probably don't have to tell you that I thought things were funny because I put them in the show. So you probably, I should probably tell you things that I didn't think were funny.
This isn't the first time you've done this. I'm really confused by this. Is it code or something? I don't.
This
and I don't care.
Jackpot.
This story, you know, there's a tightrope with that story where, you know, you don't. If you fall over one side of it, you're going to start feeling really, really bad for the dean. And that's why we did the tag that we did. I wanted to make sure that it became clear that the dean isn't being. He's not like Carrie, you know. He doesn't have a bucket of pig's blood above him. He's not heading for a brick wall that's going to destroy him. He's actually living in a willful, self-imposed denial. He's had plenty of opportunity to figure out that Jeff isn't his text buddy. He chooses to live in the Matrix. And more importantly, his choice to live in that denial is also a suitable punishment in the end for the kid that's been taking advantage of it, which I thought was really important. So you leave the concept not feeling bad for the dean.
I think the most honest thing we can do right now, the only thing that will make us better than City College, is to let that ad run and take our lumps.
People really liked that shot of Elroy after Padgett says,
If it ends with you yelling at me for
I don't own a TV, and he's just staring at her. I had told Keith on the set, I was like, man, if you just do this face, and I showed him the face to do. But then I walked away. I don't, you know, it's Keith David, and he went to Juilliard, and he's doing my show a favor, and I really never got a read on whether the guy enjoyed working with me or not. I could never. It's always like he's such a pro, and I project onto any silence like hatred of me. But in any case, he didn't really do the face that I showed him for the length of time that I showed him. So what you're seeing in that moment is, I think it's just B-roll. I think it's just him listening to a director tell him what to do. It's like from between takes, and he's listening to Bobcat, who's shouting something at him off camera.
Hope and $1.49 will get you a candy bar.
$1.79.
Are you serious? Jesus. Have fun.
And there's one of the many uses of the word Jesus that we get in this season because we're not on TV anymore.
Blurring. Trouser swapping school.
I remember when candy bars were 50 cents. If someone said, hey, I just joined Mensa, or I consider myself a postmodern this or that, you could say, yeah, that and 50 cents will get you a candy bar, or that and a quarter will get you a phone call. It was easy to be unimpressed back then. I mean, it was literally cheaper.
Elroy, we're kind of bummed out right now, and he just left.
Oh. Will you guys close?
One of the prices you pay with an actor with that much richness and power is pacing. You just can't keep saying talk faster, talk faster, talk faster to somebody who who's giving you that much value per syllable. And so that is one little friction point with the sitcom world where you want everybody to talk so fast and as fast as they have to talk on Parks and Rec or 30 Rock, like probably multiply that times 1.5 for my overwritten garbage, you know, because I tend to like overwrite. And so, you know, Danny Pudi, Jim Rash, Allison, I mean, like it's the fast talkers that you respond to on my show because I write too much.
Who or what you are, it pays off.
So Keith, you know, like it took me 7 episodes or so to like start getting a handle on Keith's natural cadence pacing and stop feeding him, or not only stop feeding him like big long things that need to be said fast to be funny, but more importantly, like actually feeding him big paragraphs that are funny if you do say them a little more methodically.
Jeff, don't worry. I promise I'll never mistake you for having a heart.
Kiss City College goodbye.
This is a pretty easy resolution. I don't know. Was this episode good? Why am I asking you? I thought it was. This is one of my favorites. I don't watch them, though. I don't watch them until I do these commentaries. Like, I see them, the last time I see them is in the audio mix, when I'm, like, picking farts and
Is this pornography?
music cues and stuff.
You're the only actor.
So?
What kind of lens is this?
Who cares?
So then when you hear me doing commentary, I'm, like, seeing the episode for the first time, kind of.
What parent is going to let their kid go to the school if a porn got shot there?
But you shot it in front of a plaster wall that could be anywhere. And you're wearing your Greendale t-shirt.
Okay, genius. But the title is Chang Does Greendale. Oh, wait. Reshoots.
It takes its sweet time, that episode. It's good to the last drop. So this guy was pretty awesome, like I said. I mean, I just like, it really made me, like I don't know. There's like, well, obviously in American culture, we associate subtitles in foreign languages with like classiness. Oh, this is a smart movie. This is an Oscar movie. This is really like the first time I ever got to like dig into that to that concept. I don't know. I love that style of like oh man, your dialogue's on the bottom of the screen, and you're listening to someone just ranting what is essentially gibberish to you, but like it's all emotion, all of the conveyance of the language. I don't know why I'm obsessing about this. I just want you to know I want to do something like that. I'm gonna write a script and have them and just do it like a spaghetti western, or like do it like do it subtitled in a different language for no reason.
Let it out.
I am Takashi. I am teenage boy in Tokyo.
I think we all are sometimes.
I am sorry for making fun before, but now I need a friend.
Why don't I bring you some olives tomorrow, Jeffrey?
So look at the work this kid is doing. He's like, he was, you know, knew that he was getting hired because he's Japanese, and you know, but he brought his game. Like actors are abused and crushed, and they line up for it. And they don't care if they die in obscurity. They just want to act for you. So here's to actors, often mistaken by writers for human livestock. These plucky performers have been the unsung heroes of TV for 60 years and counting. From The Fall Guy to 2.5 Men, actors, the key to TV. This has been Yahoo's Communitary. I've done a bad commentary on this episode.